move to the phase 2, that is, let's code with TensorFlow. This phase would have something close to 15 chapters, right? So we'll proceed with them one by one, starting with step 1 about TensorFlow. You can read more in the original source here by Jonathan Helmers. Right, so TensorFlow is a Python library for high-performance numerical calculations that allows users to create sophisticated deep learning and machine learning applications. Now in this series, currently I will not be working a lot on machine learning. Instead, we will go in the deep learning part very soon. So that would include neural networks and then convolution neural networks. And we'll be building projects like image classification. We'll dwell into that very soon. So it was released as an open source software in the year 2015. TensorFlow has seen tremendous growth and popularity in data science community. So there are a number of methods that you can be used to install TensorFlow, such as using pip to install the wheels available on PyPI. Installing TensorFlow using conda packages offers a number of benefits, including a complete package management system, wider platform support, a more streamlined GPU experience, and a better CPU experience. These packages are available via Anaconda Repository, and installing them is as easy as running conda install TensorFlow or conda install TensorFlow GPU. What's CPU and GPU? Very soon we'll dwell into that as well from the command line interface. So right now we were supposed to use this command if we are not going to create a separate environment, but since we are going to create a separate environment, I'll show you what's the next step that is to be taken. So that's Anaconda, that'll be TensorFlow, and you'll be using Jupyter Notebook. So this is the place where we'll be writing the code, as you know. Installing TensorFlow from the Anaconda prompt. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on Start prompt, right click and run it as administrator. So that's your start button. You right click here, run it as administrator, right? So what Anaconda prompt looks like. So that's what it will look like. I'll show you right away. Right click on it, run it as administrator. Yes. So there you go. Right now I'm in the base environment, but we are going to create a new environment that will be called TensorFlow env. So I'll minimize this. Let's move forward and how we're going to do that. So what we'll do is we'll type in conda create -n TensorFlow underscore env TensorFlow. So you can rename it according to the way that you want, but I'll prefer this. Okay, so now that we have opened up our Anaconda prompt in the administrator mode, we're going to paste in the command conda create -n TensorFlow underscore env space TensorFlow, right? So going to press enter, let this run. As long as there is movement, don't worry about that. It's just trying to get the packages installed. We'll wait for it. Okay, so right now you can ignore this particular command because we don't need to update conda, because there's a good chance that you have downloaded the most updated one, so no need to do this as of now. Now this is the list that will be installed. You can see proceed yes or no, right? You can see a big list over here. So that's where your package will be installed. This is very critical. You need to press Y here and press enter. As you can see, I had these packages installed. Otherwise, it will install from 0 to 100% in a slow manner depending on the size of the package. So right now the video speed is at 5x. I believe yours will also take at least like half an hour depending on your CPU and performance power of your machine. We'll wait for it. One thing is, you see all of these packages were already installed there, so that's why I didn't see the percentage raise from 0 to 100, but yours will have all of them being installed one after the other, so it'll take a bit more time. So now that we are ready, let's move on to the next step. Now it's time for us to move on to the step 3, that is to enter TensorFlow. What we're going to do is we're going to open up Anaconda Navigator and run it as administrator. Then we will change the environment from base, that is the default, to the TensorFlow underscore env that we've just created. So let me take you to the actual software package, Anaconda Navigator. Currently I have named it as TensorFlow. Yours would be TensorFlow underscore env, right? So you can see it's loading all the packages, And as I had already told you, I hope that you have already installed Jupyter Notebook. If not the TensorFlow environment, you're going to install it and you'll have the ability to launch it from here. Let's see what the other steps are. So that's the installation of the Jupyter Notebook. During installation, right, you could see that it asks if you want to open it using a web browser, right? And it will open, I prefer Google Chrome, so I always use this app to open the .html files, but we'll be using IPYNB files. So you click OK. So this is step which you have to do. Mine is already done. Now this is what Jupyter Notebook looks like. Let's go and see it practically. So I'm going to click on launching notebook, and it will open up Chrome for me. I already have Chrome opened. Wait for some time, doesn't take too long. So there you go. So now that you see here, I've got lots and lots of folders, lots of programs, right? So here what you're going to do is, once you open that, you are going to create a new folder and rename it as TensorFlow. I'll show you how you can do that. Go here, click folder. It will be one that is untitled, right? So click here, go to the top, rename it. So I'm going to delete this folder, but you are going to rename it as TensorFlow. So if I click rename, I come down, XYZ practice. I no longer need this, so I'll delete the button. It was just for demonstration purpose. So out of here, you can see one particular chapter, TensorFlow. I got quite a few things that we are going to proceed to one by one. Moving back. So now that we've seen it, how to rename it, next step would be to get started with the actual code. So this is our chapter 1. Let's get started. First chapter, wherein we'll be printing hello world using TensorFlow on the Jupyter Notebook. Make sure you're in the right environment, that is TensorFlow. I'm going to click on launch. It takes a bit of time, and for me it's Google Chrome where it's going to open up. There you go. So that's how the home directory looks like. We'll get started with the folder wherein all of my tensor programs are at. That would be this one. This is chapter number 1, TensorFlow Hello World program. So that's what this entire code looks like. What can you see the numbers over here? 1, 5, 6, and 7. That means I've already run it once. For us to clear it all, we are going to click on cell, all output clear. What you could do otherwise is create a new notebook. I'll show you how you can do that. New Python 3, and then you can copy and paste the lines of codes. Shift plus enter runs the code. The star symbol, it tells that the code is running on the backend. So once the number shows, that means this particular line of code has been executed. So now that you have a touch and feel of how to create your own Python notebook file, so that's how you will be proceeding further. Going back. So I have something called tensorflow.constant, which has got a string inside of it, which says hello TensorFlow. Yeah. Okay. After that, for every TensorFlow program, we have to create a session. Here we use the term tf.session. Make sure that the s is capital. We are going to assign it to a variable, and the instance has been created. So let's run, and it says tf is not defined. Can you guess why? Because I did not import TensorFlow yet. So let's go back again, cell, all output clear, and we need to run them one by one. Let TensorFlow import as tf, and whatever word you're using here, that is what you're going to use here. As a standard convention, we make sure that we are using tf. After that, hello equals tf.constant, a string, hello TensorFlows. Yeah, it has executed. another shift plus enter, ses equal to tf.session, that is starting of a session. Instead of shift plus enter, you can also use this button. So we are here, let me press this. Hello, TensorFlows. Yeah. You don't need to run this line of code for every change that you make. So let me go here and no. So now you know how to print the Hello World program on TensorFlow using Jupyter Notebook. There are lots of other interesting stuff that we are going to do soon. Stay tuned. See you again. Bye.